Greetings, welcome to the Tarot Card of the Now. I'm going to pick one card out of my Dark Carnival deck, and it's going to give a message for the now for whoever was pulled to this video. Let's shuffle. Oh, I have a card, and yesterday I did this. There's a card sticking up, and I just pulled it as a card of the now. Usually I pull from the top of the deck, but 2 days in a row now I feel called to just pick this card that's sticking up. It just feels like it's reaching out. So, and it was a different deck. So, different deck, but same method. Let's see what this message is before I ramble on about it. It's an inverted card I see. Oh, it's the Ringmaster. So the Ringmaster, he is the number 5 card in this deck. He is similar to the Hierophant in like the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Okay, but he's a character. If you did not know, the Dark Carnival deck is based off of Psychopathic Records and ICP and that whole subculture. It was designed and crafted by one person. She is a artist who also is what you might call juggalo, juggalette, that whole thing. This is where this deck comes from. So it has this imagery, this Dark Carnival imagery, because that's what Psychopathic Records, everybody on it's more on those just the ICP and stuff. They have other artists, and they ICP and Psychopathic Records, they're kind of synonymous. They have this kind of suburban lore, okay? And these, I guess you could call them suburban gods almost. That's why I was attracted to the to ICP and Psychopathic Records and all that. I used to be really involved in all of it. Not so much now, but I don't disclaim it or anything. I'll be totally authentic. Yes, I used to listen to ICP stuff all the time. I don't really listen to it that much anymore, but it's always going to be a part of me, and I'm always going to respect fellow juggalos and so forth. But anyway, I went through that whole crazy explanation. Yes. So you get an idea that this is one of these Joker's cards, okay? When they first came out, they've actually expanded and started a whole new chapter, but they had these 6 cards are going to have an idea for 6 albums, and it each has this kind of metaphysical deity type personality with each one, okay? And so one of them was the Ringmaster. It's an earlier one. And so there's a whole album called The Ringmaster, okay? And he is an interesting character. And he is here as the Hierophant because he was kind of a teacher. But the Ringmaster is like, think of like a circus. He is the one kind of presenting the whole show, right? He's the one that leads your attention here or there. He is the one that's kind of leading here. And that's kind of what the Hierophant is a leader. Now, what's interesting is his hands, okay? Now, the Ringmaster on this album, he has like these hand signs that are going up and down. They're kind of like the idea behind this Ringmaster album and that whole hands up and down is kind of the gang thing, like all gangs can come together. It's about coming together, not being separated and so forth. And so we have that here. Now the Hierophant in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is also making hand signals. It's this, where it's 2 fingers up and 2 fingers down, and that is seen like you see Jesus and so forth making a hand signal. It's in that arena, it's kind of like a teacher, right? And that's kind of what the Pope card or Hierophant card is about, is that teacher. If you go more into Wiccan beliefs, you have the 2 up, 2 down, as above, so below, and that meaning towards that hand signal. And when you see this, it kind of, even this, especially this hand, he's upside down, but if you look, turn right side for a bit, he has 2 fingers up, 2 fingers down in that classic hand signal that, like I said, means a little bit different things to different people. And then he's also doing it over here, and the idea is that we're all the same, and the whole idea with as above so below, everything's the same on a cosmic level. Just a major example especially comes to mind right now. It's like an atom and a planet. They're very similar, aren't they? They have this the center nucleus, and even going further, okay, planet, solar system, so forth, they all have this central nucleus and everything revolves around them, right? This is this energy. Well, that's how atoms work as well on a micro, not less than microscopic, atomic level, right? It's even smaller than microscopic, but you get the idea. The micro world and the macro world, they were reflections of each other. And different groups of people, they're all different. Like you could think, oh wow, Wiccans and Juggalos, okay? Let's take those two groups together, and you're like, they're totally different, they have nothing in similar, blah, blah, blah. But actually, each group, and go outside of that into other groups, let's say a Christian church, and Wiccans, oh, they're opposites, right? And then we have Juggalos are different, right? But these groups all have a basis, and they all are brought together on a spiritual connection, okay? Yes, they all have the spiritual connection. They all have these different parts. You have the leaders, you have the ones that follow, you have this basic design, and it's a group design. They all are based on spirit. You have the ones that lead and follow, and really good groups. Each person is a leader and a follower, but that is the idea. We all learn from each other, and we're all the same. So these different groups may seem like totally foreign, and they're weird, or, you know, whatever, and we judge them, right? Because they're different. But we're all the same. That's the idea. We're all the same. As above, so below. As within, so without. We're all really the same. It may look different. It may seem different. We may seem separate, but we are all connected. This card is really saying this is a lesson. We're being taught this because we have, let me restate that, we have smoke over our eyes. We see separation, we see difference, and it's time to learn, and we need to learn on a spiritual lesson. I just see this lesson needing to be seen. You need to listen. This is a time to shut up and listen. That's what the ringmaster is telling us right now, is that you're not paying attention. They're all the same, and we need to accept that. Now, we're all different, yes, and we're all unique, and that is good. We shouldn't all be exactly the same. We don't need to be robots. But we all are connected, and we all should just accept each other, because that is the big thing with Juggalos and these lessons from the Dark Carnival is acceptance. And why a lot of people flock to that subculture is because it's one that accepts everybody. There are so many different people who follow this, who are a part of this culture, a part of this really underground religion, and a lot of people don't understand that, but a lot of people do, because it came out a few years ago, really the truth behind the paint, I guess, behind all these Juggalos and what really attracts them, why this movement has lasted decades, okay? Decades. These guys have been around for decades. Do you understand the greatness of that? And everybody puts them down still today. There's a lot of hatred. And one of the things, the greatest leader of this Juggalo, who started it all, was Violent J, and he's quoted as that, God, if I can get the exact words. Basically, it's warmer on the inside. All the hate on the outside makes it warmer on the inside. Basically, we're all of us as Juggalos band together in this love, because there's so much hate on the outside. It's a place where people can find love and acceptance in a world that has rejected them. And that's really the message this card is pulling right now. Oh my gosh, I just looked at the time on this video. This is the longest card of the now I've ever done. I don't know how this is going to be received, but I really feel this lesson is very important. It's very, very important that you see all these differences and realize we are all the same. atom might be totally different from a planet, but they are so similar, and that's how we're all connected. We're all one, and you need to start seeing the connections and stop seeing the separations. Um, I'm not saying you shouldn't be who you are. I'm not saying you should change. I'm just saying you need to see. You need to stop professing and start taking in. Start absorbing instead of pushing out. Yes, I just see that of his mouth is really like, and you need to stop. You're doing this. I need this. Is what this is saying, which is kind of a harsh lesson, and that's what's great about the Dark Carnival and their whole crusade, I guess you could say, is to really put it in your face. It is something that a lot of people are scared of because it sounds bad. They talk about murder and so forth, right? And people are like, oh, that's horrible, but there's this core message of becoming a better person. That is the aim, to help people become better people. And it can seem scary, but it is necessary. So after all this long rant, because now this video has reached the 11-minute mark, I need to close it up. I've never done one this long. I think it's because of the extra explanation. And I also wanted to be authentic. I tell you in other videos, I'm trying to really have a crystal clear being here. You see who I am, because I only want to attract those who need me. If that calls to you, give me a thumbs up. Yes, subscribe to my channel so you can get more of these fun videos. I'm sorry this one lasted so long. It just seems like this Hierophant had a lot to say, and there's a lot of explanation because I use this deck and I've never really explained it before, so that's added into it. So it's a little extra long video on this day. And remember to keep your eyes open and your mouth shut to receive some lessons. And with that, I say, blessed be.